person said, I'm posting this translation. Please help me spread the word about the dangers and the horrors of Korean men to the world. There are times when my younger brother, who was just a year younger than me, made me feel so awful that I wanted to do something. We were both in middle school at the time, and we were so close that people were even jealous of us. The first time it happened, I was so shocked. I didn't know what to do, so I just pretended not to notice. I really regret that. One weekend afternoon, while I was taking a nap and our parents were home, my brother did something to me and even tried to film it. I woke up and I caught him in the act. So shocked at the time, I couldn't think straight at all. Even though he was apologizing and acting like nothing happened, I felt so embarrassed and couldn't stand even looking at him. So I just sent him away. My mind was racing with all sorts of thoughts. Did he post it online anywhere? How many times has this happened? Who did he send it to? Did he sell it somewhere? Did he use it to do something to himself? What did he really think of me? Went into full panic. My hands and my feet were shaking, and I couldn't even cry or breathe properly. I never thought my brother would do something like this, especially not my brother. My parents went out for a bit, and after about 2 hours, I thought something was wrong and sent a message to my mom. I asked her not to tell my dad because he really cares about me, and I was so embarrassed. About an hour later, my brother left the house. When my mom came home and asked about it, she stated that my dad had called for my brother. So my concerns were completely ignored. Say something like, your brother needs to talk to dad. I was really anxious, worried that dad might end up hitting him or something serious like that. But I think it was all just in my head. They came back laughing and chatting like nothing happened. At the moment, I really felt like I wanted to end it all. Man, it felt like such a nightmare. Family is usually pretty close and get along well. We're financially comfortable and have a good time together. But that evening, my mom had been drinking and ended up hitting my brother a few times. What really got to me was that I heard everything. And then my mom said, quote, you're part of the problem too. Who wears such short pajamas at home? I've never dealt with something like this before, so I don't know what to do. My pajamas back then were just short sleeves, short pants ones that were pretty trendy at the time. Yeah, I guess you could say it was all my fault. I was pretty slim and my chest was a C cup, so it wasn't exactly small. But does that really mean it's okay for something like this to happen? Was it really my fault? I was just wearing normal pajamas in my own home and went to sleep comfortably. Does that mean it's my fault? After that day, I couldn't really live a normal life for about a year. Even when I was in class at school or eating a meal or even at home, and especially when I was showering. Those moments, feelings, and sensations were so vivid, and I just wanted to cut myself out of my own body. My family, they all seemed to be doing just fine. It was only me who felt like a complete mess, while everyone else acted as if nothing had happened. It felt like they were too afraid to even talk about it. Later, I had to go on a family trip that was already planned. It was less than a week after the incident, and since it was a trip with my grandparents, I couldn't say no to my mom's request. But that wasn't the end. Throughout the trip, my parents kept trying to get me and my brother to make up, and they looked like they were having a great time, laughing and enjoying themselves. Is this what you call making up? It felt like I was the one who had to forgive everything. In the end, I reached out to my brother first and we became close again, like nothing ever happened. Everyone around us was praising him, saying things like, he's such a great brother. You're so lucky to have him. Seriously? I once brought up the whole situation in front of the family again. My mom said, I didn't realize how far it went. I'm sorry. But since this was during an argument, it didn't feel like a genuine apology. My dad was like, how long are you going to keep talking about this? Are you going to bring it up every time you're in a tough spot? This was the first time I had mentioned it to my dad since the incident, but he acted like I talked about it every day. I'm still struggling with it, even after years. It's not something I can just forget. What is he trying to do? Dad called my brother and me some names, and then he couldn't control his own anger and took it out on us. That day, my parents ended up apologizing to me. That was about 2 years ago. I'm not sure about the other cases, but honestly, I don't know. If you talk to your parents about SA within the family and end up in a situation like mine, what I want to say is that no matter what the person who did wrong states, you'll never find comfort within yourself, even if they beg for forgiveness. It really doesn't feel like real forgiveness. If you're thinking about reporting it to the police, well, I'm not sure. If your parents are covering up for the criminal and the offender is a minor, the outcome might not be much. Honestly, I even thought that I should have just ended it back then. Thought that if I ended things back then, maybe my family would have finally felt some guilt and blamed my brother more. But honestly, saying this feels really bad, especially since my family views the whole thing as my fault and even turns their back on me. I just can't think of a clear solution. The only thing I can do is try to get through it myself. I still think about the times sometimes, but honestly, I'm kind of dumb. I still get along with my brother. Maybe he's the one who wants to avoid things about it the most. I'm no expert, but even though I've experienced family SA from my brother, I still don't know how to truly comfort myself or find a real solution. Honestly, I wonder if there's even a real solution. But anyway, my family and I are just living like everything's normal from the outside. I'm still fooling myself with the word family, and I'm still a minor. So I can't really cut ties with them. So, as stated before, on this platform, I try to deal with and cover a variety of topics. And this is one of those topics. You have someone here that went through something that happened within the family. And obviously, within the family, nobody's talking about it. In a sense, nobody cares. You have one person still living directly in that moment, unhealed, still hurt, still seeing, right? And remembering every single thing that took place. And while still going through that situation, layered on top are all of the other issues still dealing with the family, the treatment that the daughter gets from the mother, the treatment that the daughter gets from the father, and how she has this in and out type of relationship with her brother, given the situation that they were in, that she experienced by way of his own actions. And then on top of that, she has to try to figure out a method and a way to still be what people would consider or call family. She has to, in a sense, play this type of game and walk directly on eggshells in order to make everybody else comfortable, in order to make it seem as though that she is not the problem. Realistically, she's not the problem. It's the fact that everybody else wants to ignore or try to say that it's her fault or all these other things. Going back to what the mother said, she stated, "Who goes around wearing stuff like you wear?" Realistically, you're talking to your daughter. Your daughter is young. Like she's not. Her mind is not like, okay, well, maybe I should sit up there and wear this, that, and the third, so that nobody's attracted to me. Realistically, that shouldn't even be her thought process at all. Her thought process is going to be that of a child, right? That's where she's going to be. She's just focused on living. She's just focused on, doing. She's focused on, going out there with, her friends, or, being online or going to the mall, whatever it is, right? Her first main priority should not be automatically, protecting herself, survival, looking out for dangers within the family. That should not be her automatic, go to. And nor should a woman, a mother at that, try to turn around and put blame or fault her daughter for the actions of her own son, who decided that he found, quote unquote, somebody attractive. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's 1,000% crazy. And this is why I tell a lot of people that you have a lot of parents out here who are not meant to be parents. You have a lot of people who are labeled guardians that are not guardians. You have a lot of individuals out here, just because you are able to produce a child, you can carry a child, does not automatically make you a mother. You're a woman, but it doesn't make you a mother. It doesn't make you a guardian. And the same exact thing for the fathers directly out there. And I want to know, you might have some things, within the translation that might have been incorrect, but the main thing came across was that she is going through this issue. She is going through all of these emotions, and she is in a sense by herself. The brother is completely fine. The father's completely fine. The mother's completely fine. All three of those people are completely fine and not worried about nothing. She's the only one that has to live in this thing. That was, she didn't ask for any of this to happen. She didn't ask for any of this to take place. And she doesn't have anywhere to go. She doesn't have, in a sense, a safe place. She doesn't have a emotional home, right? She doesn't have somebody to specifically talk to that's going to actually understand. And this is what I try to make a lot of people understand previously, before, when people want to complain about America. This happened in Korea. Women in Korea don't really have, rights or the same freedoms and whatnot that the women in the United States have. They don't. So if you have somebody's daughter going through this, she's just going to be going through it because she's not going to have anybody to run to. She can't turn to the police. She can't go to the government. She can't even go to her own parents. So, the main three places that she should be able to go for some type of safety and love, she can't. Right. But if the same exact thing were to take place in the United States, things would be vastly different. She would have a voice. People would actually listen. People would empathize and sympathize. You might even have some people out here trying to do a march or some type of protest to bring awareness to these types of things, taking place within the family, so that she knows that she is not by herself, so that she knows that even if other people may not have went through that specific thing or anything that she's talking about, you have people that are understanding enough and emotionally compassionate enough where they're like, you know what, we got you. We're here for you. We support you. Anything that you need from us, we will help you. We will try to do our best, in order to make sure that that, you are good. You're going to get that time to heal. If you need any type of therapy or whatnot, those things are here in the United States. This girl right here, she don't have none of that. And she's going to have to live with this for a very long time into adulthood, not being healed, still having to face through this situation, still seeing it and, still being blamed. And the saddest part is, at the end of the day, the family's going to look at her as being the problematic one. I'm not talking about the brother. I'm talking about the mother and the father. They're going to look at her being the problematic one. The mother directly told her, why would you be wearing something like that? The father was like, oh, so you're just going to be talking about this all the time, every single day? When is enough enough? Why aren't you over this already? Like I said, the resistance that is there, and how it is that the parents don't want to acknowledge the wrongdoing of the brother, is completely crazy to me. But like I said, it's a whole different culture. And this is what happens in a lot of different cultures outside of the United States. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this story and everything that I stated in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.